The unknown secret of the Medusa, the ancient Greek legend of the Medusa, the snakes on the head of this woman. Athena develops into a war goddess only when she became the owner of the mermaid after her conflict with Medusa. There are depictions of her sitting on a throne with a single veil as a chthonic goddess. The Olympic pantheon of the gods evolved from chthoni to Olympia over time. If we observe the small shawl around the neck of Athena, a copy of the large statue of Athena as a protector of the state order, to find that immediately Medusa's head puts us in a difficult position. Nevertheless, some say that the great auspices of the goddess herself are made of Medusa's skin, and that is, instead of just wanting a symbol of that ancient power, the goddess Athena wants to be wrapped up in her to assimilate her, according to Pausanias. It seems that what she wants to, above all, is to maintain this dual image so that seeing one side of the power, we also see the other. Athena recovering Medusa's head by reuniting the sides of the ancient power that had been divided into positive and negative poles always reminds us what is the wisest way. At first glance, there's no greater contrast than that of Athena with Medusa. The goddess inspires her heroes, that is, the goddess Athena. Its energetic power is the exact opposite of Medusa's paralytic inaction. Athena brings consciousness. Medusa's physical condition, if not awakened by her snakes, is deeply unconsciousness. In the separation between Athena and Medusa, we have a description and warning of what happens when the intellect and matter, the mind and the material world, are alienated. It's due especially to the demon of Athena, the maintenance of the two in harmonious coexistence. Her gift is that we see and understand the place of things. Once this relationship is lost, we only have inert matter and intellect that has lost its purpose. Thus, the material world becomes the enemy of the high intellect. It stops the intellect, limiting her ambitions, just as the inactive and paralyzed Medusa limited the glorious fight of the winged Pegasus. When Medusa finally dies, the spiritual instinct manages to escape. It's taken us a long time to realize that the technologies that guide the mind, as they are unrelated to the reality of the matter being processed, have created a situation that sometimes seems to threaten us with complete destruction. And yet Medusa, as soon as she arrives at the wriggling of the goddess Athena, brings her own gifts. Inside the bag, apart from Medusa's head, are 2 bottles of Gorgos's blood from the veins of her right and left hand, blood which gives life and death. And this blood is also used by Asclepius. Many say that the bag also contained the alphabet. The terrible face facing the outside world protects what is inside. The terrible face of Medusa, that is. The housewives protected their property by placing a mermaid on the outside of the wall of their house. The potters placed it on the opening of the furnace to prevent would-be thieves. Agamemnon carries it with the center of his shield. The head of his shield had the head of Medusa in the center, like many other warriors did. And for those who honor her, Medusa offers her protection. Perhaps her power protected Athena herself, keeping inviolable from the new heroic consciousness the essential element in the nature of the goddess herself. It's worth studying the views of the Orphics, who called the moon the head of Gorgos, and for the goddess Athena, they say that, quote, everything would end for her if she lost her hands, end quote. And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. So it has to do with spirituality, of course, the mind over matter type of thing. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.